There's a case where a professional athlete went out for a completely normal evening. She met up with a friend, went swimming, grabbed food, nothing unusual at all. By the end of the night, she was dead. And what makes this story even more disturbing is that the person responsible wasn't a stranger hiding in the shadows. It was someone watching, waiting, and slowly becoming obsessed. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all we do. And today's story is one of the most unsettling cases of jealousy turning into something far more dangerous. So this story takes place in Austin, Texas, in May of 2022. And at the center of it is a 25-year-old professional cyclist named Moriah or Mo Wilson. Now, Mo wasn't just good at cycling. She was one of those people who was rising really fast in the sport. People who knew her described her as super calm, very focused, just someone who genuinely loved what she was doing. She wasn't caught up in drama, she wasn't controversial, she was just doing her thing. So on May 11th, Mo is in Austin for a race, and at some point during the day, she meets up with another cyclist, Kaitlin Strickland. Now, the two of them had known each other before, and that day they decide to hang out. They go swimming, they go out to eat, and honestly, it's just a very normal, low-key evening. Eventually, Kaitlin drops Mo off at the apartment where she's staying. Nothing about this interaction seemed dangerous, nothing seemed out of place. And that's what makes what happens next so chilling. Because somewhere else in the city, there's someone who knows Kaitlin, someone who's in a relationship with him. And at some point, she finds out that Kaitlin had spent time with Mo that day. And that information doesn't sit well. At first, it's probably just questions. Why were they together? What does that mean? But then those questions start to spiral, and instead of letting it go, she holds on to it, and holds on to it, and holds on to it, until it turns into something else entirely. Because at some point that night, she makes a decision, a very deliberate decision, to get in her car and go to that apartment. So later that night, Mo is inside the apartment, alone. And suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Now, we don't know exactly what was said or if anything was said at all. But what we do know is that moments later, gunshots ring out. And by the time anyone realizes what's happened, Moriah Wilson is already dying. Because when investigators start digging, they find a few really important things. Number one, there's surveillance footage that shows a vehicle matching hers near the apartment. Number two, they find that she had access to a firearm that matches the weapon used. And number three, they uncover this growing tension and jealousy connected to Kaitlin. So at this point, it's looking pretty clear who did this. But before police can actually arrest her, Kaitlin Armstrong disappears. Just gone. And this isn't like she just left town. She leaves the country. She changes her appearance. She basically tries to start a completely new life. And for weeks, no one knows where she is. Eventually, authorities track her down in Costa Rica. She's arrested, brought back to the United States, and put on trial. And in November of 2023, she's found guilty of murder and sentenced to 90 years in prison. But even with that sentence, there's really no outcome here that feels fair, because at the center of this story is a 25-year-old woman who was doing everything right, chasing her passion, building her future, and all of that was taken away because of someone else's obsession. And the scariest part about this story is how normal it all started. If you found this story interesting, let me know what you think in the comments. And if you'd like to hear more strange, dark, and mysterious stories, make sure to stick around, because there's always another story.